Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back to the farm. It's a lovely morning this morning. In fact, I was snuggled in bed, having a bit of a sleep in, and was really enjoying that, when the wife burst in the bedroom and said, "There's a pig in the yard." Well, pig doesn't belong in the yard. I don't know how they got out of there, but it looks like they've been really putting pressure on that electric fence. In fact, they knocked the netting down in a few spots because they were never trained to an electric fence. So now I got to find them. They're somewhere out in the yard here. So I'm going to pull this fence down, so they got a spot to go back into their pen, find them and get them back in there. What an escapade for a Sunday morning. Free-range piggies. Oh boy, we're gonna have a rodeo, aren't we? Come on, pigs. Come on, I got food. Look, I got food. Come on, piggies. Come on, piggies. Come on, piggies. Oh, you want treats, don't you? There, back in where you're supposed to be. That was easy, hey? No more shenanigans today, okay? Well, that was a lovely Sunday morning walk with the piggies. Maybe you're wondering how that happened. Well, this gate right here, this chain latch, I'm pretty sure they're at the age of they're very active with their snouts, and they're just pushing this right out of here. Well, obviously it's hard for me, but evidently if they work long enough, they're able to do it. So I'm gonna have to figure out a secondary chain, I think, up here, something with a little carabiner, just in case, because, well, we're pretty lucky this time. We're pretty lucky that they're trained to a bucket, and you know, they were just looking for some Sunday breakfast, and they came quite willingly. But any other time, if they buggered off down into the field, well, I don't know if I have a stomach for that kind of rodeo. The good news is you can see the electric fence got all rearranged. That's fine. I got to move it today anyways, so no harm, no foul there. I'm gonna move it over beside the rams and give them a little extra grazing space. And these lambs that we're keeping, they got some hay, and I'm gonna kind of keep them topped up on some grain for now. And then we better let this section of the lawn rest. There's only so much that your lawn can really, you know, keep up with when you're using it as pasture. It can't keep up nearly as much as, you know, some good brome and timothy. Anyways, chasing pigs wasn't even remotely on the agenda today. No, we're gonna take the old yellow tractor and the post pounder and go finish building some fence that I started yesterday. I had to quit early because the post pounder actually broke and I had to weld it up. So we'll see how good of a welder I am today, if it lasts through the day or not. Well, that's it. All our posts are pounded, and not sure what I'm going to do for the rest of the day now, but the welding that I did yesterday held up, so I'm sure I should get my journeyman ticket in the mail any day now. But yeah, I'm going to drive this thing back up to the house and see what the wife has left on the list for me to do. All right, so here's how the day went sideways. I finished up fencing. I came back up in the yard. I said, what are we going to do? Carmen figured we should do some yard cleanup. Things like garden hoses, you know, all the stuff that's gonna freeze and whatnot. You wanna get ready for winter. Well, I left that one for a good reason. Because my buddy Robin Bloom over at Bloom Enterprises, yesterday he sent me a text and said, I've got this 28% sheep supplement. It's in totes. And you're probably gonna wanna get in on this deal. It's a smoking deal, you're not gonna wanna pass it up. So I'm like, well, I got my own tote. What if I just bring that down? He said, well, you could do that if you really wanted to. I said, well, what's a tote weigh? Because I know this thing, when I fill it, is going to be 1,000 kgs or 2,200 pounds. Filled with molasses, though, because it's got a greater density, I know it's going to be more. I just wasn't sure how much more. He said a full one was 3,000 pounds. I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to manage this? Because I don't have any pallet forks or anything like that. So Carmen had suggested our old ATV trailer. We used to run the quad up on here. Haven't used it in a couple of years. Not really sure what we were going to do with it. So I put an IBC on here, filled it with water, see if it would take the weight. Well, yeah, it'll take the weight. But unfortunately, right in behind one here, it's got a split. It's got a light little split. And so it was puking water out the side. So no, no, we don't have a tote available to fill with molasses. So I'm gonna have to get one off Robin here in the next day or two. So it's kind of too bad, so sad about this tote, but in reality, I should have seen it before I even started filling it. This one's actually, it's got a little rust spot right here, which is pretty indicative that something's been leaking out. But yeah, there's just a little split right back in there. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. I've seen lots of stuff on the internet about converting these into hay feeders. So, well, it's easy enough. Pop these screws out. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. That whole bladder will lift right out of there. And then, I mean, the opportunities are endless, really. And so the one thing we do need to figure out, if you'll recall from last winter, actually, we put together 3 panels and then an extra long pallet that would slide on those panels as a sliding feeder. Now that panel, that pallet is pretty doggone heavy and not super friendly to move around. But if I were to carve up one of these, that might actually be a game changer. So we'll see. We'll see one day if I got a few extra spare minutes here or there. Maybe I'll carve this thing up and do a quick conversion, see how it works out. So anyways, our last little bit of news here. Some pretty good news. Carm went to Valhalla and picked up a new farm cat for the yard here. So Charlotte's gonna love this little guy. We were looking for a name and Carm said, well, maybe Ginger. No, maybe Spice. No, that's dumb. And I'm like, Ginger Spice. Why don't we call him Jerry? So Jerry it is. You say hi, Jerry? You say hi? Anyways, Jerry says it's time to go for a cup of tea. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening and we'll see you tomorrow.